momentum.
Oh. In live stream.
Comes to light.
We are the light.
Nothing other than light.
Walk in the light.
Or running the light.
Yeah. Okay, I got the hint. I'm putting my shoes on. I am really.
These boots are made for walking. This is what they'll do. Turn on the lights, go outside. Let's have some fun too.
Just opening and running and flowing from the hearts, from our hearts. The joy of what we love. In the restless cycles of new, revolutionary. Feels like there's a question to ponder.
That's the
Anyone?
realization me and Craig had about the four core choices. I choose the end result of living a life I love. We thought that was kind of like a closed kind of thing, closed statement. So then we shifted it to turning that into a question. So I wonder what I could do to be living a life I love. And then the ideas come in then, because that's not a closed question, that's an open question. So taking it from a statement to an open question.
Hmm.
Which I thought was pretty interesting. And another realization I had was, like, we pick a word. What about if we pick, I mean, the word comes with a feeling, but what if we pick a feeling that we'd love to be feeling? And share that in a circle.
Won't work. Just kidding. That's a no. There's a yes and in all of that. A great idea.
Realization was a good word for you today, Joe.
Yeah, it's been quite yeah, it's literally been there in the last 24 hours, that word. Someone put a post up saying, when you're creating something you love, it feels good. But
Mhm.
then I've been thinking, if we're creating this reality, we're also tuning into it. So by realizing that we can tune up our frequency,
Mm.
I'm losing myself.
No,
With the
very
feeling.
Oh, congratulations.
Sorry, what, brother?
You said you're losing yourself. I said congratulations.
Yeah.
Well, as long as it's not the big one.
As long as it's not that one. I mean,
I've had a wonderful start to my day. I need to go. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great
thanks,
day.
Allison.
Thank you,
Bye.
Allison. Big love.
Bye.
Bye, Alison.
All right, big love, homie.
Love, Joe.
Bye, Alice.
Yeah. It's a space that you can stay as little and as long as you want. It does come to an end, but no obligation.
Reading an amazing book last night, man. The Magic of Thinking Big, and he said, "Oh my days, the how it won't reveal itself until you fully believe in it. So by believing in it, that's when the how reveals itself. So if we want to do something, we don't fully believe in it. That's when we get stuck on the how. If we just focus on believing in it, wow, boom, that's how."
Mm. Yes. And in the feeling is how that comes through, you bet, which is the realization of the feeling, the word.
There's a lot of
End
power in
result.
the how question. I wonder how.
Yeah,
It,
I think it's
it has to be
important.
directed.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Joe.
yeah, I think it's important that we're just not needing to know the how, just curious and open to it.
Yeah, and there's, we have an inventory of questions that get us going, that get us flowing, that start us running towards it.
Yeah, when we don't even know which direction we're going. We just know it's toward.
Or sometimes away, sometimes up and sometimes down.
We're aware of the feeling. It helps provide us. Oh, are we on track or off track?
Mm. Yeah, the feeling is such a blessing for us to have that internal sat nav.
Yeah, it's guidance.
And it's beautiful to be aware of those feelings and them not just getting shrouded in waves. Because with the stillness and calmness, it allows that ripple to be seen, that thought to come up. But when it's all wavy, it's like,
A good question to sit in. How could I love my life?
How could I love my life more?
I'd say for me, the more adds the conditions.
For me, the more is like acknowledging what I've already got,
Yeah.
already love. But I can see what you're saying as well.
Yeah. Slippery slope. So thank you. You added awareness. That's a big word today, Floyd. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Because we can always have more. More awareness. Yeah. Oh, Tina's back. Yay. I was so excited to see Tina. Hello, Tina. She's working on her mic.
Hey, Tina, welcome.
Tina. Who would like to? Well, now, Floyd, this is a big ask, and you don't have to. But if you would like to invite Tina in with the words that we've created so far.
Sorry, hi, I was on mute.
Hi, Tina. Floyd's new today with us, and
Oh, hi, Floyd.
Hi, Tina. Well,
they're in the chat if that helps also. So, but
are they?
yeah.
If you tap on the screen, click on more, and then there'll be a chat button.
Oh, hiya, Joe.
Tina in the house. Can you see them, Floyd?
I actually can't at the moment. I did a while ago. I saw where it
Are
said
you on your
chat.
phone? Are you on your phone?
Look, it's all right. No big deal. Here, I'll send it to you. Here we go, Tina.
Oh, okay, cool.
And you can just go with what's there for you too, Floyd. No need to be perfect with it. Really, it's an opportunity to invite someone new into the space that we've been playing in.
Yeah, if I can remember, the words, Tina, were restless, awareness, consciousness, I think.
Just put them in the message, the chat
Oh,
message.
you can read them. Okay.
Yeah. If you click on chat, it'll come up at the side with messages from peeps.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you anyway for trying to recap.
It's perfect because it adds so much flavor to the words. We had new risings. The theme has been awareness that Floyd has brought in. So Floyd, we're grateful for the word awareness, revolutionizing cycles, integrating together. And we were pondering, how could we love our life more? So that's when you stepped in, my dear.
I got a bit carried away weaving my dream catchers and thought, oh, time.
It's perfect. Do you have a
Occasionally.
word?
Well, one that springs to mind is vibration.
Yes. Thank you.
That's in a vibration through me.
I'm certainly working on that here. There's certainly lots of vibes around today, so yeah, that's definitely a word today for me.
Thanks, Tina. Great to have you.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
It sometimes occurs to me that, and when I get it, it's great, but it's only very rarely do I manage to see the life. We say, you know, I have a life. But then it sometimes occurs to me that we are life, you know. It's not like we have a life and we can lose it. We are life forever. And I think when I tap into that, that's what you're saying, how can we make our life? Was it better? Life just feels as if I don't need anything more when I reach that space.
That space of realizing that you are life.
Yeah, everlasting, pure, uncontaminated. You know, yeah, of course, you know, the body disintegrates, but you know, who we truly are is life. It's never ending.
I just keyed into that word, uncontaminated.
Or unconditioned.
Yeah, yeah. But uncontaminated was, yeah, very, very appropriate word.
I'm in awe of the wisdom. Thank you.
Oh, and here's what came next. Things only affect us by the meaning we give them.
Oh, wow.
It's looking like my words fitting again then, which is ironic really, considering I jumped in late as usual.
Say it like it's a bad thing.
Mm. I'm just amazed at how sometimes I'm not aware of what's happening when I come in, and it's just amazing how it fits in. Like it's almost like an intuitive thing, really. It's bizarre, but it's actually a good thing. It's really nice. I like it a lot.
Even when you're not here, you're here.
Well, there you go. So I'm obviously tuned in somewhere.
Yeah.
That's why I say the word vibration. Definitely, it's plenty of it around at the moment. Oh, shut that face, Craig. Mm.
Uncontaminated.
Shut it. You're a knob.
Oh, you moved up in the world. You got a knob. You
Oh.
moved up.
It's my first knob.
You moved up in
Now,
the
I'm
world.
sure we were talking about mugs one time with all different
Yeah.
meanings of knobs on, like hobnobs and stuff. But yeah, no, I meant that in an affectionate way, given we shared the
I don't
vibration.
care how
stuff
you meant it.
before.
I'll take it.
It's endearment when it's coming from me. I'm the biggest knob there is, so hey ho, you know.
See, the meaning I took from that was it's a privilege to be a knob. So thank you.
Yeah.
You're
yeah,
very
and so did-
welcome.
I could have been offended, but I'm not,
I
obviously.
know.
But that's up to me, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
Great awareness.
yes. Yes. That's it. Yeah. Awareness, definitely. That'll be why I got away with said words. Phew.
That's what I meant by things affect us by the meaning that we give them.
Yeah, totally. And where you're at, I suppose, in that time. Yeah,
Mm.
that's
The
it. 'Cause there's
vibration, you bet.
absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to say that vibration.
We change our relationship with the meanings, with our own meanings that we've created, right?
Mm.
Yes, yes. The awareness is if I'm latched on to that meaning. Is it fixed? Is it the old and can't let it go? Can't allow new.
Is the meaning solid or liquid or gas?
Mm,
I guess it depends on a state of mind. A certain, you know, when my mind is flowing and there's not many. Well, the last 2 weeks I've just been hitting boulders, you know, just solid granite-like inner blockages, which has been hell. And there's hardly any awareness there. It's just feel dense and trapped. So at the moment I'm coming out of that and feeling a flow. So then that's great because you don't have to hold on to what's coming up. It just vanishes, you know, it's impermanent. Words, sounds, events, visuals, everything's just fleeting. That's a great place to be in, but I'd love to be in that place all the time. But it's on and off with me. And
But now you're aware.
now I'm a lot more aware than I've been previous days.
Remembering.
But the
who
way
you
I
are.
would react to a certain thing on a blocked day would be completely different to how I would react like on a day like today. You know, if someone explained to me, if I was to explain to myself, look, Floyd, this is all impermanent, I'd be like, yeah, well, it doesn't fucking feel like it's impermanent.
Mm.
You know, I am suffering so much. And I guess, you know, a lot of people feel like that, trapped. And so they can't help reacting, you know, with anger or with hatred or jealousy or any of those kind of minds, you know. They don't have any, or we don't have any. It's the only way we could act, you know. That's the state of our consciousness on a certain day. And then so blaming each other for, it's like, you know, we tend to blame politicians and, you know, the leaders that are creating like suffering on the planet, you know, world leaders going to war. And sometimes I get really upset with that. And I just think these crazy men, you know, but then that's where they're at. That's where their consciousness is. They don't know any other way. So really, how could we blame them?
Yeah, when you realize that 90% of our human behavior is unconscious,
Mm.
you know, how can you blame anybody?
Yeah, that's what I've been working on.
It's just the
last
program
sort of
working
thing.
itself out, right?
Yeah. But when I'm not in a good space, I fall into that trap of, you know, criticizing and, you know, pointing the finger at others rather than my state of consciousness. you know, the pain is coming from me, not really from them.
That makes sense. It's almost like a trigger, isn't it? I suppose it's a good way of looking at it. Really. I never thought of it that way because I struggle the same. I'm sure we all do, but I hear what you just said there, Floyd. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Because that's how I feel. It's that procrastinating, isn't it? Sort of when you're in that place, there's loads of stuff that, like, when you're in a good place, wouldn't even come into your orbit or get under your skin or any of those things. But then, like you said, when you're feeling wobbly yourself or vulnerable or whatever's going on, it's a bit more tricky, isn't it, to sort of keep that in mind?
Yeah, for me, a lot more tricky.
Yeah,
I go
all
from
that.
extremes, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
I go from one extreme, although,
yeah.
you
No in
know,
between. Yeah, I'm like that. I'm up
flowing
or
and
down.
forgiveness isn't. Sorry, go on.
No,
Missed
you're
that.
right. No, I'm just agreeing with you.
What
Absolutely spot on.
what was the last what was the last bit you said? I was
I'm
talking.
like you. There's no in between. It's just up or down. It's very, very up or very, very down. And I'm like yourself, trying to find that balance.
Sure. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
It's almost like a shared. For me, it's like having a devil and an angel on your shoulder, and it's that conflict all the time.
Mm.
And you just want them to bog off.
The binary mind.
Oh yeah.
Either or.
Yes. But I agree with Floyd. It's very tricky when you're in that place to kind of rationalize, or you kind of already know the answers and you know what you should be doing and what you need to be doing and all of those things. You're very, very aware of that. But putting it into practice when you're feeling that way is the tricky part. That's the fight for me anyway. That's what my fight was a couple of weeks back. It was just grabbing onto anything that I could pull myself out because I kind of knew subconsciously I didn't want to be here and I didn't want to end it and all the rest of it. But when you're really deep in that place, it's very, very tricky to achieve.
It's sinking sand, isn't it? The more you struggle, the further you sink.
Yeah. And it's just, like you said, even just that tiny little bit rational bit that pops in, you grab on. Like, you just grab on. Because like I said, your rational self knows, your deep self knows what it needs to do or should be doing. But when you're struggling, it's like Floyd said, it's very, very different. Very, very different. That becomes a battle in itself.
Something that's problematic for me is that when I'm in the flow and in my beingness, then I'm not much of a doer. I don't really want to do anything. I just want to sit in the flow. So I don't get much done. And then
What's
when
wrong
I'm
with that?
suffering, well, I guess there's nothing wrong with it, but it's just not very creative. You know, time goes by,
What?
life goes
It
by.
is creative
Yeah, it's the most creative you'll ever be.
because you're already sending the light and the flow, like you've just said there about the flow. That's what it's all about.
I find it difficult to get up off like the meditation cushion and, do the things you have to do during the day and stay in that awareness. I'm not very good at integrating it into everyday life, because we do have to do things. So that's why I get this habitual wanting to sit and try to be in that meditative state. It's like a bit of an addiction. And then
is.
on the difficult days, well, I can't do anything because I'm suffering too much. So, I'll lay there, or not very productive. So whether it's a good or bad day, not really, don't get, it's like, I'm amazed by how some people can just, they use their life and they really produce a lot. Create, like musicians and, people that create businesses, and some people can seem to do it so easily and efficiently.
They don't.
Um,
They don't, but it appears that way.
Mm.
Now, why does it appear this way? I'll bring in structure. I'll share structure with you, because there's 2 points to creation. One is the invisible. It's in the mind. It's in the dreams. It's in the imagination, which is what you referred to in your meditative flow state.
mhm.
And that's the importance of going for a true choice. It's like, oh, now I'm going to put a word out there that, oh, this is what I want. This is where my life is going. So now you have a direction and orientation. That's the purpose of flowing in our meditations.
Mm.
How could I
Yeah.
get there? How could I get there is every action every day, because you're focused on that end result, so that when you see it, when you arrive to it, it goes by you and you go, oh, there it was. Now you're in it. But the action is what gets you there. That's the second part, is the action. Yeah. Which is what you're saying. The key is keeping the focus on that end result, that feeling when you have it. Because when we get out of that feeling, we're going to attach to the old, right? And we're going to go backwards. We're going to go back to the past. So structure's always the truth of the moment of now and where your focus is.
When you say focus, does that include, do you mean focusing on what we want to achieve in life?
Yes. Yeah, that is
No,
one
focusing
place.
on the feeling.
The feeling that what that achievement would give us.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay.
They go together, and Craig, yes, that is the feeling of having it is so much more important than whatever the thing is.
Mm.
When I speak about thing, I say, oh, there's my choice as my words, because those words bring my feeling to it.
Right. That's good. Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome. And then when we're stuck or oscillating, not flowing, we are in the truth of the moment now, but rather than focusing on what we want, we're focusing on the past. We're focused on how it's been. We're focused on why we can't.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, it's still a structure, but the structure is trying to go backwards with
Yeah.
our whole life is wanting to go towards that, our passion, our truth, our passion. And so that's where that oscillation shows
Yeah.
up.
Mm. You got a great way of putting things.
That's exactly what happens with me. Usually while I'm asleep, I can go to bed relatively very positive and feeling okay. Tomorrow's going to be a great day, going to move towards the things I need to do or the things I want. And then while I'm asleep, it's as if somebody injects me with glue. And I wake up like solid and, oh no, trapped. So there's not much continuity to my days.
Here's some
And I keep it.
awareness. Here's some awareness for you. Acknowledge that feeling that you wake up. It's like, oh, I am stuck. And you have a choice to stay stuck or be unstuck.
it often feels as if I actually don't have that choice, because what it says to me is, you're just going to have to fully accept this now until it changes. Because when I try to fight it, it seems to, if I try to override it, it just seems to go deeper, more density. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yes.
Suppose it.
Key.
Sorry.
Uncontaminated.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, we latch on to old patterns. They're familiar, they're comfortable, even suffering it's the last thing that we'll give up, because it gives us what we feel, what's familiar.
Mm.
Yeah.
Because when you want something new, that's different, right? That's scary. That's I can't do it. Yeah,
A wobble.
exactly, a wobble.
Yeah. And it's the ego's trying to, that's the ego trying to step in there as well. Like when I did my counselling skills, that's pretty much what came up with that. Is like you said, when you're trying to do things different, think different, or you already kind of know what you need to do, it's that, like you said, Jesse, about the familiarity of what's been normal and trying to break that. It's just the ego, it's just the old self trying to, keep you stuck. But it does come with rewards if you can overcome it, that's for sure. But it is exhausting at the same time.
Yeah, it's a sticky old mind.
It is. That's what I said. You kind of already instinctively know what you should be doing, all of those things. But the trick is the practice. And again, we're all human, and we've been forgiven, won't we, for falling into those lower energies or whatever. And it's just remembering who you are, and any little thing is a good thing.
I mean, it's great when I get a taste of who my true being is. Don't know what I want to say here, actually. Yeah, I think I look back on my past. I think I really wish I'd been more daring when I was younger, like taken more risks.
Still be
Just
that
given
now.
things. Pardon?
You can still be that now. So there's no. You can start anytime. I think everybody, well, myself, can't speak for everyone, but definitely, you're never too bloody old. I try all the time to try, well, what's stopping me, and yeah, it's myself.
Fear, isn't it?
It is. For many years, just one example. I mean, as I say, I'm very long in the tooth now, but one example. Years ago, I always wanted to do martial arts, and I've talked about it, and never did it. Never did it. And then one day I asked myself that question. It's like, why am I still talking about it? What's stopping me? I've got the funds, and I did it. And I did it for 20 plus years, and I never looked back. And that's just one example. You can do that with anything. You're never too old. You're never too old, and that is the truth. You know, for anything that you're passionate about, doesn't matter if it means
Uh-huh.
something. You know, it's about what you're passionate about, what floats your boat. Then do it. Just do it. Say, right, well, why am I not doing it? What's stopping me?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Talk to yourself, because that's what mine normally comes back to. You know, and give it a go. You know, all those things you dreamed of as a kid. Why can't you have that now? Are you able? Just think, right, okay, how can I make that happen?
Yeah, I mean, what I truly wanted to be when I was a boy was a musician, and obviously I can't be a big famous musician, but I could still be a musician
You can
and
still,
and
yeah, of
do that for myself. Yeah.
course you can. That's it.
Mm.
That's exactly it. It's finding your passion and making it
Mm.
happen. You know,
Mm.
I'm always doing that. I love that actually. I love that, you know, because it's took me, you know, you're not alone there, and I'm sure we all feel the same way or have felt the same way at some point, you
All
know, where
right, let me pause here because we can talk all we want around it and never get to it.
hmm,
Mm.
You know, so the key here is awareness of our passion. So let's open. We earlier it says, "Oh, the trick is this." Yeah, the trick is not to talk about it. The trick is to experience it,
hmm,
and the
that's the
trick is to experience it together. So the trick is coming together like we do here, laying out our passions as it could be in the imaginary as we sit here together. And then during the day, we go for that.
that's nice. I already feel the buzz.
And that's the difference.
Okay.
So we're all going to step into our passion
Yep.
and just notice the wobble, even as I say that. The wobble is why I can't have it. Just acknowledge. Perfect. Because that is our starting position. We could start with how could I live my passion? What am I passionate about?
I wonder what I'm really, really passionate about.
And let the information flow to you without grabbing onto it, without examining it. Just, oh, that's interesting. Yes. Yes. And what's next? And feel free to speak your words. Because when we speak them out loud, then our truth is like, oh, is that really? We start to align ourselves towards it, which is what we need to do.
Yeah, I'm really passionate about spiritually awakening, and then maybe going on to help others. That's my main passion. Yeah, that overrides the music stuff.
Is music inside of it?
Yeah, there could be.
And there's the key word. It could be. Doesn't have to be. It just could be. Huh. What if it was? What would it look like? What could it look like together?
Mm.
Just think of being a conductor of your passion. Conductor of your frequency, of your vibrations, of your realizations, a conductor of all of them. Just lay that passion out all the way as far as you can see into the future. It's like no matter what, you never get there. It's the joy of finding it, of creating it, of journeying through it. And just notice the ups and downs that could be there. Those are the joys and the sorrows. Knowing this is what I love. This is my passion. And so when you get to the end of it, like when you get out there or you find something that's like, oh, I could see myself doing that, being this, oh, and it would feel like, fill in the word, it would feel like this in my passion. Feel free to share that word, that feeling out loud, knowing you're in your passion.
Freedom.
Mm.
Joy,
You know,
inspiration,
mm.
enthusiasm.
Inspired. Mm.
Flying.
Mm. And if you can say a phrase while you find yourself in it, like in your creation, what phrase would you tell yourself when you have it?
Bruce Lee one came. Was it when he says be like water? That's what came for me when I was sat with that.
Yes, now that becomes your phrase that triggers you into your passion, into the feeling. Yes. Yes, and who's next?
I've got lost here. What are we searching for now?
Great awareness.
I'm feeling really excited right now. That's a good thing.
Yeah. Tina,
When you-
could you say your phrase again for us?
I'm not fully sure of it. It's a phrase Bruce Lee used regarding water. Be like water, fluid.
Oh,
Thank you.
Be like water, my friend.
Eh?
water mixing with water.
It's something Bruce Lee said anyway, and it just in that moment when we were given the space to think, it popped in. But it always resonates with me anyway, so it's always a nice one to go to.
Is it a feeling? Is it a feeling, Tina, you're talking about?
It was a phrase. It was something Bruce Lee shared about. You'd have to look it up, but it was something along the lines of "be like water." And there's more to the phrase, but I can't remember all of it. But it was something to do with different flows and things like that. I'm sure it can be Googled.
So the importance is that Tina said, oh, this is what hit me. This is what came into my space.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to open up, is you need to open up your words
Yours.
in your space that says, oh, that's my trigger for my passion.
Yeah. When that came through for me, I got goosebumps. So that's kind of, hopefully that might help you identify with your vibe or what pops in for you, or it can be anything.
And it takes practice. It just takes practice. Yeah, it's
Practice makes progress. The quote is, empty your mind, be formless, shapeless like water. If you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into the bottle and it becomes the bottle. Put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
Yeah, that I knew there was more to it, but it just, as soon as it popped in, I got goosebumps. For me, anyway, it just, it's always nice to, yeah.
Yeah, they're good analogies. Water. Water mixing with water. It's like consciousness, isn't it? Consciousness is like clear consciousness, uncontaminated consciousness is at the moment when we're confused and agitated, stressed, then it's like choppy water, like the waves choppy on the surface, just thrashing around all over the place, no calmness. And then the separate waves, you know, like we feel like we're separate from everything. But then just dropping in, the waves are not different from the waves are no other than the sea, the ocean itself. Dropping into the ocean, becoming that whole, sinking down where the calmness is, the depth of the ocean is calm. All the surface choppiness is above us now. We're below that. I don't know if that's making sense.
As you keep going for it, to the calmness, to the freedom, you just let
I mean,
go
that's
of
where
the
the freedom is,
waves.
isn't it?
Yeah, so it's on the left, on your left hand, you have all of that chaos, all the waves, all the separateness, all the aloneness, all the darkness. And as you turn your focus to the right, the opposite of that, what do you see? In your right hand, what is it you're going towards?
Right.
And just feel, what is the feeling as you are imagining going towards that passion?
It's actually nice doing this because for me, it's certainly raising the vibration as well because I'm actually here smiling. It's a nice place to be, a very nice place to be, and I think we do forget. And it's just nice to be reminded in this moment.
And close your right hand. And at 3, you're going to open it up. And just notice what's in there when you open it up. This will be a gift. 3. This is your passion, your purpose, peace. You've left all of the waves behind, the storm, the aloneness, the stuckness, the procrastination. All is in the other hand, now in the right hand. And just feel the anticipation, the excitement, the joy, all the things from your past that puts a smile on your face. And just know all of that is in this revealing, this gift. Just ask yourself to reveal the gift. 2. Open. Breathe it in. Visualize it. Picture it. Feel it. Accept it. Allow it.
I'm definitely ready to start manifesting again now after this. It's really
We're all
cool.
manifesting. We're always manifesting. It's just where's the focus on what we do or don't want.
Yeah, this is it. But the buzz that I'm getting right now,
Mm.
it's all good.
That's it. The feeling. The feeling is the secret.
Yes. Yeah.
You see, now you have a phrase that you take with you, Tina. It's like that becomes your phrase until it changes.
Uh-huh.
So keep focusing on that phrase, because that phrase will bring you into that feeling. It'll bring you into it. You'll be like, oh, how could I have that?
Yeah. I'm understanding now where this is going. It took me a little while to catch on, but I'm getting it now. I'm understanding. Yeah. Mishram.
Need to turn my focus here. That's Floyd. Floyd. Any phrase or word for
I heard
you?
my name. A phrase.
What was your gift?
Love.
Mm. And when you have it, what would you say?
I am love.
There you go. Always remember that gift of love is always in the palm of your hand.
Mm.
It is you, always will be. And that is
Wow.
your passion, your purpose. It's like, yes, that feeling. Just ground that in all the way through.
Uh-huh.
And just ask
Affirm-
why I can't.
Affirmation. I am love. I am love. I
Feel
am
it.
love.
Yes.
I am.
Yeah, playing that Donna Summer song. I feel love.
I hadn't heard that one, Tina.
She sang it a hell of a lot better than I did, but it's an awesome rave tune as well. It's old school. But yeah, I feel love, Donna Summer.
Yeah, it's a great song.
Well, get playing that because that'll remind you.
Yeah.
Good. Step one. That's step one. Nice work, Floyd.
Yeah, there's your music, Floyd. I feel love.
Yeah. There's the music.
Bit of Donna Summer.
Yeah,
So
she's great.
now there's always an action. So it's like, oh, what action? What will you take? How will you know that you are loved? What confirms it?
By staying focused on that, I guess.
So what will you do?
The only thing that comes to mind is just that repetition of stating the positive, just affirming. I don't know what action that will take.
Repeat the phrase. The obvious action is repeat the phrase through the day, and tomorrow share with us what happened.
Okay, yeah, good, yeah. Yeah.
Or the next time you're here, whenever. Yeah. It's a practice. It's a skill. You're just training yourself to think that now versus the other. See, we all want something so much bigger than what it takes.
We all want something bigger than the amount of effort that's needed. Is that what you mean?
Yes, that too. Or we want some grand reveal, something grand to reveal itself in the moment.
Yeah, instant enlightenment.
Yeah, yeah, but it is. It's the journey is the enlightenment.
I think you can always bring yourself back to this, can't you? Like you said, it's even in times where you forget, you can always remind yourself of this and try and bring yourself back to this and start in there. That's what I mean about
Yeah,
room to start again. It doesn't matter how many times, there's always a starting point. And if it's here, getting back into this and just remembering, then that's good. That's what I try to do. And this group certainly helps me remember that. Because you do forget.
yeah.
Yeah, and don't forget to breathe.
Don't forget to breathe.
Yeah, and there's always more than the first thing that comes in, if you care to stick around.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And that's the trick in it. But just by having the space now that we've just done, it's amazing how many wonderful things actually do come through when you just give yourself that space to do just that. You know, that just from that moment that we've all shared, it's amazing how much has come through for me. That it's like very obvious, but you just forget. And it's easy
Yeah.
done, you know, because we are human beings at the end of the day, you know. But it's always nice when you do try, like Jessie said, it is a practice, definitely. It is definitely a practice, and it's something that, you know, you have to keep reminding yourself. But it's amazing how many wonderful things came through for me in that moment that made me feel really excited and like, right, yeah, you know. That is exactly what it takes. It's like just something that simple, and you think, oh, I feel all enthusiastic and energized again, and have a bit of a clearer picture.
Yeah, it's so important to come together, isn't it?
Yeah, what makes you buzz? You know,
Yeah.
and it is nice to have the space to think about that, because this is it, isn't it? You just get so bogged down. That it's what I'm liking about coming here is that it is a practice to sit quiet and see what comes through. But when you do that, it's amazing the benefits of doing that. Just trying to still your mind and not even thinking about just like Jessie's shared, the first thing that just pops in. It doesn't matter how random it is. It's allowing that space to. It's right. That's where your creativity is. It's you know, you don't. We make it difficult, I think, you know, and it needn't be, but we do need reminding of that still, and it's okay, you know.
Mm.
We can only listen in the silence.
Yeah,
Otherwise, we are filling it in.
that internal chatter, and that I definitely struggle with that. I think we all do, don't we? Really, it's just it's learning to just, even if you're just switching it off for a few moments, like you said, it makes a massive difference. Because It can only be one tiny little thing that pops in, but you think, wow, yeah, yeah. And if you can use that during your day and beyond, then that's the bonus, you know. That's the gift.
Is that run tempting you anymore, Floyd?
Oh yeah, I keep looking outside at the sun. In between closing my eyes.
I think it'd be a good.
Running can become quite addictive. I've done it all my life. So without it, it's. But I'm not like.
Like Jesse says though, it's not like it's a bad addiction.
Yeah,
Not
I'm
like
not
it's-
I'm not screaming to get out. I'm quite happy to sit here because if I was doing nothing, if I was on my own, not talking to anybody, then I'd have. But I'm quite comfortable, listening to and talking to. Obviously, a new habit to get back into because, yeah, I cut myself off for a lot of years. I've been very solitary, haven't I, Joe?
Yeah.
Hermetized, which has its place, but
Winter's over now. Spring's here, my brother. Time to flower.
sure.
You got this, mate. Big up for coming, man. It's a big move jumping on a call that you've not been on before. So well done, man.
I felt really, what's the word? I felt really welcomed and loved by you all. It's really lovely energy to this little group.
Uncontaminated?
Yeah. I feel,
A nudge.
That's the
Well-
word that kept coming out of you, Floyd.
Oh,
that's that's where I want to be, Jesse. Completely, empty, clear space, no more conditions. Totally unconditioned mind, free. And that's what you're doing here. You're being free. There's no
Yeah.
conditions. Say what you want. Speak the word that comes up. Yeah. I've had a problem in the past. I go online with certain teachers sometimes, and when they invite the questions, I always freeze up, never quite are able to formulate my question. And, the ego then, you're not clever enough to be asking good questions. You better just keep quiet.
Well, that was the word that rang my bell, so I just thought I'd bring it up because it was like,
I love
yeah, you said
Yeah,
it
it's
4 or 5
tickled you,
times
hasn't
today.
it?
Yeah, it was there. It kept coming up over and over again. I went, okay. Hello. Yeah.
Giggles.
Yep.
Oh, Craig started the time. It wasn't me. I'll stick on you, Craig.
It's contagious though, isn't it?
Very much so. But I'm loving that word. I'm content.
Contagious contamination
Yes.
of laughter.
Oh, bless. I think, Joe, you're collecting bloody souls at the moment and saving us all, because I'm the reason you're the reason I'm here.
No one's getting saved here. No one's getting saved. We're all-
No, but just
I
hooking
know, I know, I know. But yeah,
just
no, it's
that
this one.
vibration. There's my word again. The vibration of
That's it.
like-mindedness, and like you said, holding the space. And sometimes that's just what's needed. It's that, even if it's just for a short while, like you said, having that space to just rethink in a better way than we have been, or take some good vibes from it, or whatever it is we need. Even like you said, even if it's just to feel like we fit, or
To be heard.
yeah,
Well, Tina, it's just a return to innocence.
yes, there's an Enigma song there. I'm bumming resonated with songs today, me, aren't I? Return to Innocence. Enigma song.
But yeah, no, it's my honor to have brought you guys in here. And I know there's going to be lots more beautiful souls, you know. Luckily, I've got a really, really cool audience of people like yourself, you know, all here to create, bring in a beautiful world into existence. So we are laughing. So thank you for being here. Thank you for Jesse for holding this. He's been doing it for 130 plus days, every single day.
I
Amazing.
missed one. I slept in on one.
Oh,
We'll let him off. We'll let him off one, eh?
That's the day you were heavily contaminated.
That's right. That's right. 45 minutes later, I wake up and went, shit. But it was in the first 30 days, and it was, I could say not everyone showed up every day, even myself. So man, it let me off the hook.
there's dedication for you.
Yeah, that's well, here, like the purpose of it, I spent 2.5 years meditating and creating alone, and it sucked and it wasn't working. And now 133 days, maybe it's 134 days, I've had the biggest flowing movement because of the people in this group.
Oh wow.
Thank you.
And I made 40 million in my 30s.
You've been meditating on your own for 2 years, you said, Jesse.
Mm-hmm. 2.5. And
Did
I
you
got
have
frustrated with it.
Did you have no guidance at all?
Oh, I had guidance. That's who taught me how to meditate and how to create, but I was doing it alone.
Mm.
All of our meditations are alone. And I said, I don't want to meditate alone anymore. And so this is my new meditation practice with people. And I think that is the key.
Do you ever now, sit physically in a room with others meditating?
No, I don't. I'll sit there by myself now if I need to, but this is my meditation time.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I call my lenses. This starts my day.
What a lovely way to start.
Yeah, there's interaction with other people in it, which makes it different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because then we bring our passions together, and it opens it up and moves it so much faster. It compounds it, it amplifies it. Where you're alone, you end up just regurgitating the same shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will admit it did take Craig to kind of explain in layman's terms to me off record, and now I'm kind of with it. But today, definitely, I think maybe because I was feeling not in a great place myself a couple of weeks back anyway, as you know. But now I'm feeling a lot better, and I've joined you today. It's like something's just clicked in. It's like, I get it now.
Yeah, a different experience for you today, Tina.
Very,
Yeah, I observed that too. I just want
very.
to mention that to you. Yeah.
I'm not saying
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
not enjoyed the past meets with you, but today I feel like I've actually understood not what's being asked, but you know what this is about, and it yeah, amazing is all I can say. Amazing, and thank you for that. And yeah, today has been a very different experience for me. But again, I think that shows the importance of coming back to maybe where we started before with the, you know, your headspace or whatever's going on in your life at that moment or whatever. It's nice to have your awareness brought to it, actually, even though it's not very pleasant sometimes. You can learn that actually even the rubbish stuff can be your friend sometimes, because it's not there to hurt or harm you. It's there to help you learn something to give to you, really. I don't know if that makes sense, but I feel like I've gained a lot today. And it's nice to be smiling again, actually, and feel excited again about
Yes.
what we've done today. I really am. I'm genuinely buzzing now. I'm buzzing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really am buzzing.
Perfect.
I'm on it now. It's like, right, I know what I need to do. I'm going to go and
Go
do
get
that.
to work. Go get to work then.
Go
Be
get to
complete. Go get to work. Like,
I
Finally,
feel your
finally get
vibes.
it, Jessie.
I
I
feel
finally.
your vibes, Tina.
Did you wear the splosh for? Hi, Nikki.
Hey, Tina, I feel your vibes.
Yeah.
Nikki's out
Keep-
walking.
Keep buzzing.
Definitely.
Awesome.
I can't believe it's as I say,
Tina's word was vibration as well, Nikki.
vibration.
Yeah, I heard
Vibe.
that too.
What did you hear, Nikki? Wisdom
What
from
did-
Nikki today.
No, I'm just no comments. Just listening. Enjoying the
basking.
vibration, the vibes.
You go, girl.
Yeah, let's go, girl.
Oh, lovely. It's nice to feel very different today. Like finally, as I say, the splosh. You had the splosh going. That was me realizing. But as I say, bless Craig for kind of explaining in layman terms what was happening here, because I didn't quite grasp. I didn't have a full understanding. But yeah, today's been good.
That is, so part of it is also recognizing when we are complete.
Mm.
That there's a feeling to completeness, to completion. And I invite you all to find yours, know it, because it allows you to complete something and move on to something new. In our words, it means we can scatter so that we can go gather somewhere else.
Be like water.
Yeah, exactly.
It's quite sad, really, isn't it? Because it's obvious when you know how. There is no. It's not a trick or any of those things, really, and it is. We do know. It's just like you said. It's sitting still and quiet enough to get in touch with that, and hearing what is actually being said, or not pushed. That's not the word, but it is in there. It's just like you said. It's stopping the chatter and giving yourself the space, like you said, to just think, yeah, epiphanies.
Yeah.
What does my genius want to say?
Yes, I like that. That's made me buzz even more.
It
Yep.
seems to me that it must be extremely important to express yourself.
Mhm.
Yes, it is.
Okay. It's something that I haven't done
Yes. Most
much
don't.
of my life.
Nope.
I've had a problem with like throat chakra blockages for a lot of time. I was never allowed to speak when I was a child. As soon as I opened my mouth, I was told to shut up, you know, or someone would speak for me or criticize me. So I just learned to be quiet and do as I was told.
Yep.
So that sort of trauma holds. I found it, you know, I started meditation following the spiritual path many years ago. And initially it seemed really easy for the mind to wake up. But the body, it's not so easy for the mind to follow. There's so much trauma which holds us down. And the body is denser than mind, so needs more time and more understanding. And I guess
Have you noticed, Floyd, that you've done in this environment that we've created here today? You've done a lot of speaking.
have I?
Have you?
It doesn't feel like I know that I have spoke more than I thought I would.
Yeah, but isn't that interesting?
It's interesting, and I think I know why. I just feel comfortable with you people.
Yeah.
I don't feel judged or like.
So what happened? What happened to that child that was always told to shut up? When that
Well,
child came into this space, what happened?
Previously, you mean what happened to me when that used to happen to me?
No, what happened? What happened when that child who was told to shut up came into this space?
Oh, today.
Yeah.
Well, that child felt welcomed and loved. So not afraid, you know, the fear of being made to look a fool sort of
Yeah.
dissipated.
Yeah. Yeah. You experienced something new
Yeah.
today
And
that you haven't experienced for many decades, actually. Am I right?
Can you just say that again, Jesse? I didn't hear.
It's Craig, and
Sorry, Craig. Sorry,
no,
Craig.
you experienced something new that you haven't experienced for many decades.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, yeah. And I would venture to say that that same experience could not have happened in a meditation. Because the interaction brought it out.
I think a little bit of both, to be truthful. I had been meditating this morning, and it was, you know, fairly good meditation compared with previous weeks. So
Yeah, but did you
I
use
felt
your
more
voice
confident
box?
because I was
Did you use
here.
your voice box in your meditation?
No.
No. Which is exactly my point.
Sure. I mean, without this opportunity to speak, then who knows what I'll be feeling now. after the meditation.
Invitation to speak.
Let me share the mechanic that's happening here. The mechanic is as we begin to learn to talk, we are expressing our feelings. Yeah. So as we express our feelings out in the world, then the world gives us feedback as a child. And usually that feedback for most is bad. It's negative. And so we take that internal chatter, we take that internal talk internally, and we run it, and we build our patterns that way. And so we learn how to survive with our inner talk. And that's what happens when we speak it out here. You're back basically connecting to that child again that's free to say what they want. And so there's so many barriers around it that as you do it, you start to pull them down. You start to remove them. And so that's what's happening in groups like this.
Ah, that's fantastic explanation. I like that. That sounds really good. The barriers that you just talked about, yeah, I feel them physically, mentally, spiritually.
And as they start to crack, now your meditations will go deeper and farther on your own, because it's your adultness is connecting with your childhood again, your innocent child.
Yeah, being supported is really important.
It sure is. It's everything. And that's all we're here to do.
Thank you so much, really, for being so accepting.
Equal, genius, yes, and.
Thank you, Jeff. You absolute legend.
You are.
I'm equal, genius, yes, and to you. Together,
yes,
we gather, together, we break through, and we scatter.
And all of us created this space and this experience together. Whether you're a first timer or you've been here 134 days, doesn't matter.
All parts of the time.
That's quite a wondrous thing, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yep.
Every day is a new one.
It is.
Yo, you beautiful legends. I'm gonna rumble. Yeah, it's been an amazing call. Yo, Tina, Floyd, my fellow UKians in the house.
Yo.
I love you. Have a blessed one, and I'll speak to you in the group.
Bye, Joe.
See you later. Oh,
Bye,
See you in
guys.
a bit.
Bye
Bye,
bye.
Jim.
Love, big love.
Big love.
yeah. I like where this is going.
Me too.
My parents used to say, "Oh, you're so deep, Floyd. Stop being so deep."
Yeah.
I always thought there was something wrong with investigation,
Oh, yeah.
with trying to work life out. It's like, oh, there must be something wrong with me.
Yeah. That's what I grew up with as well. Same thing. Even now, today, it still happens. And it's like, you know what? No, I'm just going to be me, and, if my light hurts other people's eyes, so be it now, It's needed.
Yeah.
We do belong.
Well, who was always present in every situation?
Mm-hmm. Was.
I was.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when it went well, we didn't need to congratulate ourselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when it went bad, we had to find somebody to blame to figure out what it was. And if we are always the common denominator, of course, it is us that's broken.
Mm.
that's what we believed as a child. And everyone else piled on and confirmed that because that is what we looked for.
Mm.
And so that is the structure that society has built and just continues to run, that we are working to let go of and break through here.
And it's
So
very,
it doesn't have to be that way.
well, it's like an entrapment, really, isn't it? Like you said, and it's nice to finally have the tools, which we kind of already have, but it's nice to be reminded of. Like you said, we are all capable. It's just reminding yourself that we can do this, and we have got this, and we can change it. Or it's like when I was in that, well, Floyd doesn't know, but I came on board, I think it was just over a week ago, and I was in a very dark place to the point where I nearly thought, nah, don't want to be here anymore. But long story short, I kind of knew deep within somehow that it, I didn't really want to go that way. It's just remembering that you do have the choices and the options. And I actually basically reached out to Joe, and Joe put me in touch here. He felt that I'd benefit in some way, and he wasn't wrong. Because it's nice to be reminded that, I've gone off my train of thought, but I can't tell you how far removed I still feel wobbly. But I can't tell you how far removed I am from that point a couple of weeks back. And the difference, it makes a huge difference, like you said, when you just give yourself the space to remember who you are and why you're here. And we are very hard on ourselves, for whether it's conditioning or life or stuff. And just remembering that, I can't even remember now, but I'm just very thankful that I reached out, because it's given me the incentive to keep going. And I think sometimes that's what you need to remind yourself, that even in those darkest times, just throw that line out, no matter how stupid or silly you feel, do it.
Yeah.
Because, well, I wouldn't be speaking to you today, basically, if I didn't. And I'm sure most of us have probably been there at some point or felt that way,
Yeah.
but it's nice to have those reminders again. Like I said, today has been because I've been so low, but today has been my first day of feeling that I'm finally grasping what is going on here. And for the first time, I feel like I've heard Jesse and the group in that, we are, like you said, in a safe space to be able to go in and think, yeah, what do I want? What do I need? Who am I? What, feeling safe enough to ask yourself those questions and just being, it doesn't have to be dark all the time. We are deserving. We are creators, we can do or be anything we want to be if we, like you said, just give ourselves the time to stop that internal chatter and hear ourselves. Like you said, that inner child, mine was screaming out for, she was screaming out for this, really. she needed to be heard. She wanted to be accepted and understood, and all the things that I feel we're sharing here. And
Were you having difficulty talking to others before you got involved in this group?
very, very difficult. Bit like yourself, same as you really. I don't fit like probably most of us. Square peg, round hole, black sheep, whatever you want to call us. My feelings, my being wasn't important. It was always blame, whatever, depression, whatever. But always feeling like I was fighting that kind of, you know, I wanted to be me, but was too afraid to be me. And it's took me years to actually speak to anyone, to reach out, to ask for help. So this has been, I think we're all at different levels, aren't we, of learning and
Sure.
healing. And mine was to learn to kind of trust in sharing again, which has been a massive step for me. Because I used to keep it all to myself. I couldn't trust anyone. I still have trust issues, but it's certainly getting better. And I think by just keep trying, you do eventually find your tribe. You do kind of lose. It's almost like the baggage takes itself out, and then you've met with new people in your life that kind of resonate with your vibration or energy or whatever you want to call it. And I think that's all that's happened now. I was fighting that kind of still hanging around with the same old energies and the same old patterns.
Yeah.
Yeah, searching for where I fit, and I don't fit in that place anymore, you know. So it's just trying to throw those lines out, I suppose, to find. Once you do that, I think you do attract like-minded people, and I feel maybe that's what happened to you today, maybe, because you've shared a lot of how I felt a few weeks back. You're allowed to celebrate you, you know. I didn't want to be in that dark place, and it was like, well, it was up to me to do something about that. But I won't lie, I feel I needed that help as well. I needed that kind of just talking to people that just get, that hear you or hold that space or whatever is happening here, you know. And like you said, feeling supported and it's nice to feel that excitement again, because I knew somewhere within me, even in that darkest moment, that, you know, there's still good stuff, good people, good stuff. And I knew what I needed to do, but I just needed to be given the space, I suppose, to feel safe to go into that place and
Yeah, you got to be able to feel safe.
start
haven't you?
buzzing again. You know,
Trust is
it is.
very important, isn't it? To trust.
It is, but you have to keep trying as well. I think that's one of the main things that's come out for me with the, you know, something like that is forever. If you succeed, it's forever. It's done. There's no coming back from it. So when you're in that place, what do you do to get out of it? And that's what I did. It was like, you know what, I've just got, that was my internal battle, was being afraid to reach out and ask or find or search for the ridicule, for the whatevers. But I threw a lifeline out to Joe, and he was like, right, yeah. He didn't rescue me or anything like that. I just thought, I need to put this into practice. I need to practice what I preach now. And here we are. It's I'm here joining all you beautiful souls and buzzing at the prospect of, oh, I've got work to do and it's all good stuff. If you'd have told me that a couple of weeks back, it wouldn't have happened.
It's really good. Thanks for sharing that.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome.
Lisa, is it? Am I getting everybody's names mixed up at the moment?
Tina,
Tina, sorry, Tina.
it's all right.
Did Lisa go? Did Lisa leave a while ago?
Allison, yeah, Allison left
Allison.
real early on. Yep, Allison.
Was there a
Nikki's-
Lisa in the group?
No, Nikki.
No.
Nikki's, yeah.
Nikki? I don't know where the Lisas come from then.
Might be picking some up there.
Jesse, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Have you had any sort of Kundalini movements during your time meditating?
I don't know what that means.
Okay. You're not familiar with the phenomena of Kundalini energy, no? Ah, okay, that's cool. Not many people are, especially in the West. I think it's more of an Eastern term. Yeah, whereabouts in the States are you?
California.
Wow, there's a lot of Kundalini sort of yogic Kundalini classes in California. I know that. I don't fully agree with the way that they kind of force Kundalini to awaken.
Well,
'cause
you
it's very
can,
powerful.
you can. So I found I'm almost 3 years. I'm probably at 3 years now that I started meditating. So, like that gives you an idea around where my background has been and come from, and so.
What
Not
got you
much.
interested in?
However, I got to throw this in. We've experienced Kundalini energy in this group very many times, but we haven't called it that.
Okay.
Yeah, you'd have to
I
give me
know
your
it.
definition of it, and then I could say yes, have I experienced it or not? But I haven't labeled
Well,
it that way.
Yeah, I mean, many years ago, I had a big release of that energy, and it's just 30 years later, still trying to integrate and deal with it.
No, life-changing situations. Yeah, I've had a couple of those.
That's why we meet every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing fundamentally the trick, if you will, all humans want is to be heard. It's all we want. It's just to be heard. So when we create a space that people can be heard, it works magics.
That's why I'm still alive.
And
I mean,
if you think about others, like other programs or other places or other like leaders, we're all familiar with them. All they do is talk. There's no space for others to talk. That's my disappointment.
Yeah.
So you were going to say, Floyd, I'm sorry.
Yeah, this Kundalini energy is the only name I know for it, so I have to refer to it as the Kundalini energy. But where Joe and I live, in northern England, you mention this to anybody, it's like, you're an alien. It's like, what are you talking about? I know that it's kind of more understood in your area, California especially, But that's what's been a huge blockage for me. I've never been able to speak to anybody about it because everybody just says, well, I ain't got a clue what you're talking about. You know, and doctors and so forth just label you as crazy. So it's something that I've always wanted to sort of talk about. And that's why I brought this subject up. And it is a difficult thing to have, even with people that are in the know, you know. It's very difficult. It's a difficult topic.
Give me your definition of it, and I'll know if I can have a conversation with you about it.
Can I explain it in terms of how it erupted, how it began?
However it works for you.
Yeah, it began, like I say, around 30 years ago. It was after I'd made contact with a Buddhist guru, Lama, Tibetan Lama. And I think the first big movement was I was asleep in bed and I felt this energy rising from the base of my spine. I woke up and, you know, my body was contorting in bed as I was laid down. And this energy was rising, it was a difficult experience. It didn't just rise up in a straight line. It was hitting blockages and working its way up, you know, like a snake, powerful, energetic snake. But when it got to I think somewhere around the throat area or the base of the skull, it just came to a complete block. Like a wall was there. I don't know how long that lasted, but eventually that did burst through and went into the head. It seemed to move forward to my face and forcibly push my face outward, coming down the nostrils, and, you know, pressure behind the eyes. And I remember it till eventually it did make its way up into my brain, went into the center and opened something up at the center of the brain, which felt like stone until this energy. And I think that was weeks of working on that area. It could be is it the pineal gland, the pineal gland that's in the center of the brain? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I believe so.
And from there, it did rise to the crown, which was unbelievably blissful. But I didn't feel any connection I wasn't grounded, you know. I couldn't come back into my body. I was just out there in the ether. But yeah, to cut a long story short, the energy eventually, too much came up into the head region and became really, you know, lots of pressures bursting out of the temples, forehead, working its way down the back of the head, and it couldn't ground itself. It couldn't get back down. It was trying to work its way down the right-hand side of my jaw. And eventually, you know, slowly over the years, it's made its way down, but in a very convoluted and sticky, just messy way. just does incredible things internally, still working with that on a daily basis. And I've never met anyone who, I know it's different for everybody, everyone has a different experience when these energies start moving, but either in a spiritual setting, or I've never met anybody that has had any experience of what I've been talking about.
They would say, I can't, as close as I can get, I say yes. They called it a seizure. It wasn't. And a mine burst out of my chest, and I write it. I come back to that a lot because it is, I call it my flame, my passion, my purpose. And
Yeah.
I have visions from it, and I use it, and I've learned my biggest moments, my biggest learnings I'll attach to just a continuation of that. So
Yeah, that sounds really beautiful. Has it been a struggle? Has there been a lot of pain involved as well?
no,
No.
mine came out. As it came out, just think of a huge laser, like a blue flame coming out, and it was wrapped in barbed wire, like the movie, right? The Venom. It was a lot like that, and it didn't hurt, but it felt like it could really be painful, and so it's like letting go of all the traumas and the blockages, that were there through that.
Yeah.
And so it, now after my seizure, it was about 10 days. I'd call it an overstimulation of synapses in the brain. And so I couldn't be around light. I had a headache for 10 days. I grounded, meaning I'd come out and lay in the sun naked, lay in the grass in my underwear, but just
Yeah.
all it needed just to be around out in nature and grounded to the ground and to the sunlight. And, so I knew it was just, something really deep.
Yeah.
That's what, when I do my holistic or healing or anything like that, it's what we describe as a healing crisis. It's almost like anything that's been trapped within you, or toxic or blockages, anything, that light is going to find it to bring it out, to expose it. And with you saying about the blockage in your throat, again, that refers to that little boy who's not been able to speak up. So that'll be where you're going to feel it the most, because you've been oppressing. That's generally when I work with energies, what comes up for me when I'm working with clients or myself. The healing goes in your body where it's needed. And if it's stuck, it's because that's the particular area that needs the most attention.
Yeah.
Needs clearing.
Yeah,
So
mine came from the heart. Mine burst out of the heart, and that was, so that for me, it was always pushing down what I loved, which as a result of that was anger. Anger and frustration.
What happens, it'll emphasize more whatever it is that you've been oppressing within yourself, anywhere in your body. That light is dispelling all those blockages and that darkness, so it's bringing it all to the surface to be healed, basically. And that's the trick, is, like you said, it's riding that wave. That's the trick of it. It's understanding that that's what's happening to you, and not to fight it, that it's bringing light to those areas. But that's what I've been taught to, as a therapist and as a light worker myself. That's generally what I try to bear in mind when I'm with clients, I'll say, look, because people hear the word healing or energy or whatever, they think it's all like, most people, great if it's a walk in the park and they don't have any hiccups at all, but you kind of have to prepare that person that, look, you've just had an intense healing session, whether it's healing, whether it's aromatherapy, whether it's herb, anything like that. You have to prepare that person for what is called a healing crisis. And I generally say to them, look, it could be a walk in the park, but you may experience lots of tearfulness, you may feel angry, you may feel irritated for no reason all of a sudden. It's just while that energy is working through that blockage, that's what that is. So to be released, for the new you to emerge, basically.
I'm just amazed how much healing is needed within me. It's
Oh yeah,
as it's descended this energy.
It's ongoing, like Jesse said.
You know, so many different areas now. It can come right down to my.
Well, we are like an onion layer.
Every organ is affected, you know, pulled and cut through, and I just unbelievable how much there is in. I think that's why the word uncontaminated came up. I was feeling relatively uncontaminated today.
But you've got to work on those areas that are contaminated, and I think.
How do you work on different areas? How?
Well, with this group, what I've realised today is exactly what Jess is sharing, is that space to go within and feel that vibration, that what vibrates with you, within you, that resonates within you, and bringing that out. I think I finally grasp what that has been about today. It's that kind of, that'll help with your healing. That's what I've discovered.
Okay, like going to the main source.
Awareness. Yeah.
The awareness, yes, that was the word I was trying to find. I couldn't find the word, but having been through that crap myself a couple of weeks back and being here today, I've heard today completely differently, and I understand and have gained from, like what Jess is doing with giving the space. Like you said, it's about having that space to try and stop that chatter, even if it is just for 10 minutes, 5 minutes, however long it takes, just to keep bringing yourself back to that, like just focus or your word and what that word brings up for you, and there's a clue to kind of go and dig into that and move with it instead of. So it's almost like evolving. It's almost like you kind of being that self-aware.
Being focused,
and in turn you bring in healing by doing that. Gets your juices flowing again. It's certainly got my juices flowing again today.
yeah, I can tell. You're really up.
You knew that, but this is what I'm saying. You need that reminder sometimes. You need to just remind yourself to go back to those basics, like Jesse said, even if you can just still yourself for a few moments, ask yourself or focus on that, what it brings, what resonates with you, what it brings up, you know.
I mean, as much as I dislike pain, I suppose it has its place then, because pain certainly focuses
information.
It gives you a focus, doesn't it? Information.
It's information. Otherwise, that pain will keep coming back because it's trying to tell you something. And so you go into the pain and say, what do I need to know?
You have to feel it all. It's hard.
I'm not very good. Yeah, I'm not very good at analyzing.
Well, that's how you've been. That's
how
it's
is this
been.
telling you?
Yes.
What is this telling you? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what he's telling me. I haven't got a clue.
There's nothing wrong with I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a great
Okay.
place to start. So when you say, I don't know, then you get to the root of it, and then you allow. And then when something comes up, it's like, oh, is that it? And you get always a
Yeah.
yes or no answer internally. You can always rely on a yes or a no.
That's
Mm.
what I tried to practice when I was in that place. Exactly that. And it you know, you do know. It's just stilling yourself long enough. And yeah, you know, I mean, I've always tried to remind myself that depression or the darkness or whatever you want to call it can actually be just as big a friend, because it's
Yeah.
there to teach you, to evolve, to learn, to think, well, how am I really fit? It's almost like checking in with yourself, which I think sometimes you don't really do or give yourself the time to. It's like, well, okay, why am I feeling this way? What's going on? And that's kind of being gentle with yourself. And I'm telling myself off here now as well, because this is what I need to practice. And it is a practice, like Jessie said. It's you might fly with it one day, and then another day you may struggle with it. You know, it's okay. It's just reminding yourself that, you know, you it's there to help, not so much hinder. And it's kind of well, what is that blockage about? Why is it come up? Like a lot of my darkness has come up at the moment. I know that's because I'm healing on another level again. So it's brought up issues that I thought I'd dealt with and obviously haven't. So
Yeah,
instead
they
of
keep coming
shouting
back.
at myself like I normally do, it's like, well, okay, why is this there? Why is it come back again? What am I having to learn from this? What have I missed? What have I not done? It's and then here is giving yourself that space to kind of, do you know what I mean? Just look at that
Yeah,
in a
yeah.
nice way, not like in a beat yourself up kind of. Sometimes the darkness can be your friend too, maybe more so than the light, I think. It's just remembering that moment.
Yeah. Well, I don't know who it was. I heard someone saying online the other day, you know, the suffering is good because, you know, it's the suffering that, like, I think, like you just said, Jesse, it cracks us up. And, you know, it's like, I've had enough suffering. I can't take any more suffering.
Yeah,
And so that's its job to
absolutely.
force a change, to force you to awaken.
Well, if it
You
doesn't,
can't
then
take
you end
anymore.
up in a place where I was a few weeks back, where I thought, there's no point in living. And to me, it's like, well, I suppose you have to get gritty. It's like, well, you're in a life or death scenario. So what do I want more? I mean, okay, the only way I could stop that torment in my own head was to welcome that in a safe way and think,
Mhm.
okay, so why? What's really going on here? You know.
And what conclusion did you kind of come to when you said what's going on here? What came from that? What conclusion did you come to when you
Um,
asked that question? What's going
again,
on?
I was kind of stuck because I wasn't giving myself the time or the space to
Ah,
welcome. I mean, I knew I was healing. I think kind of knew that I was healing, but what was it I wanted? What was it I needed? Why am I feeling this way? Where's it come from? I think it's
mm,
training yourself to kind of ask those questions, I suppose. I just wanted peace. I think that was why that was an option for me back then, because I just wanted my mind to stop. I just didn't want to think anymore. I didn't want to have that heaviness. But I thought, well, okay, so how if that's not an option for me, if say going to rule that out now, what are my other options? How can I obtain that peace? How can I find that within myself to claw my way back or to survive, if you like? So that's what I did. It was kind of right, well, okay, it's swallow your pride, reach out to a friend. Doesn't matter how silly I feel right now, this is where I'm at, so I've got to take this shit serious. And as I say, the knock-on effect of that was here I am now. And reminding myself that, I mean, because once you're through it, it's easy once you're through it, like I said, to see that, oh my goodness, yes, you know, but I guess you have to go through it to kind of see that meaning of it, if you like. Because in my rational self, I don't want to die. Sounds awful putting it bluntly, but I don't. In my rational self, I don't want to do that. So what can I do to make it better for me? And remind myself why I'm here and that we are important and we do count and we do owe it to ourselves to kind of give ourselves that time to be, you know, to be.
I sometimes think that, am I spending too much time on me? You know, am I, you know, should I be breaking my day up into, okay, so you like, you know, I heard you saying, Jesse, you get up in the morning, that's the first thing you do, you sit and you go into meditation. And then I presume you get up and then you have things, you're doing the other stuff during the day. I sometimes feel that, am I just doing too much trying to heal me rather than going, okay, well, you've had an hour of healing, now you need to go and heal, go and help somebody else and get involved in life. You know, I feel a little bit guilty that I'm not really, the reason I keep putting it off is because of this lack of continuity. I don't know how I'm going to be from one day to another. If I had more sort of flow from one day to another, I could make arrangements to go and help in some way. I don't know what sort of help it would be, but anything to get involved in community and just help somebody in some way on a regular basis. And, you know, do you think we might sometimes just spend too much time trying to get enlightened and focusing on ourselves, you know?
No, I don't think there's ever enough, because there's one thing, well, there's many things that came out of what I've been through the last couple of weeks, but one thing I have learned is that you cannot give from an empty pot. You can't. So healing yourself is an ongoing thing, and I don't think you can spend enough time, to be honest. Maybe that's the problem. It's not so much the time, it's the quality. It's allowing yourself, like Jesse's sharing today with the, you know, the word thing. It's that, what does your word bring up for you? Like, for example, vibration. You know, the practice we did earlier, it was kind of, I don't think you can spend enough time healing yourself or giving to yourself, because without doing that, you can't give to other people or whatever it is that you want to do. It has to start with you first. And you've got
I
to
understand that.
Yeah.
I understand that. But with me, you know, 30 odd years, a few people, you know, like certain Buddhist teachers have said to me, well, do you not think maybe you should try something different? You've been trying to get well for 30 years, it's not really working. what, and they've said, you know, maybe you're spending too much time focusing on yourself. Get out there and get the focus off yourself, and you know, you won't be sort of ruminating over, you know, all these blockages. And you know,
Yeah.
when I hear that, sometimes I think, yep, that's what I've got to do. This is what I'm going to do. And then the next day comes and I'm like, you know, I'm really stuck again. And it's like, yeah, and maybe I could be a lot braver and say, well, regardless of how I feel, regardless if I feel this bad today, I'm still going to go out and try. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I've not really brought myself to that point where I can even be brave enough to go out and give it a go. You know, I know what you're
Thank
saying is that's not really necessary, but might be in my case because I'm not getting
Yeah.
any younger.
Well, I'm certainly a lot older than you. but
I
maybe
don't think so.
I am. Trust me on that one. You, what did you say? 30
You
odd
don't
years?
sound old.
Well, thank you for that, but believe me, I am. But maybe then by just being here, like you said, and holding that space for yourself, without, I mean, the trick is to not think so deep. Maybe, I don't know, but that kind of, I think Craig explained it, bless him, in layman's terms, because I wasn't quite grasping what this was all about. But once he'd explained, it was like, right, I've got it. And it really is just, it's I can't find the words, but it's kind of, it is giving yourself that space, that proper space.
Sure, and that
So,
is really needed. Yeah.
Floyd, today's a whole new different place. Yeah.
Yes.
You're starting a whole new different place, and try this one. There's nothing to fix.
Yes.
You're
Yes.
not broken.
No.
Yeah, I've heard that before, but it doesn't feel like that a lot of the time.
Yeah, that's normal.
Growing doesn't. You're always evolving, I think, as human beings anyway, without all the other stuff. If you take the spiritual stuff out of it and everything, even just being, you're always evolving, always. You know, I'm so far removed from the person I was so many years ago. I'm even so far removed from the person I was a couple of weeks ago, you know, and I'm sure everybody here can relate when you say about, you know, you don't know who you're going to be from one day to the next, but just that kind of having that space to just be is
Well,
probably,
many times I
certainly
get
searching for that, you know.
What was that last bit? Sorry.
I've certainly found, you know, the just having the space to just be, even here, just
Oh, of course, yeah.
has certainly helped me.
It's really, really helpful. When I was talking about that energy that initially years ago went off, and you know, it really, some of it was very beautiful, but a lot of it was very difficult. And when I went to my main teacher at the time to say, look, this is what's going on with me in the early days, he just said, well, look, you've come for my advice. And he said, my advice is go get a job, like on a building site where there's a lot of, you know, proper, heavy, you know, manual work, and eat and just mix with builders, eat builders' food. And he said, just, you know, forget about the Buddhism now for a while and just get back into the world. And that seemed good, you know, good, great advice. But I never managed to put his words into action because of the extreme of all this and what was going on. I just couldn't do it. I always felt guilty. A few years later, I went back and I said, still feeling the same. He said, did you get the job? on the building site. I said, no. He said, well, same advice. You know,
You're your own teacher and you have
do
those
that.
answers,
It's
which is what this is
true.
about. It's
It's true,
not,
but I always felt bad that I couldn't take and couldn't put their advice into, you know, what one of my teachers said, you be coming to me when you're 50 with the same problem if you don't do what we've recommended you to do. And at the time I thought, I think I was around 30 then, I thought, no way will I be like this for 20 years. Well, they were right, because I'm in my 60s now. It's
it's
still
not,
going on. So they
Yeah.
were right, you know?
it's not about following other people's instruction though, is it? That's the whole idea.
Mm.
You have those answers yourself, which is what this is about. It's you already know. It's just been oppressed, that's all. And I find it's all well and good to have teachers and mentors and things like that, but again, you know, it's somebody else's interpretation of how they see things. It's not necessarily yours. I drove myself mad trying to follow textbooks and follow teachers and gurus and things. And that's all well and good. They can give you some good advice. But at the end of the day, it's not about them and their life and their world. It's about you. I threw all that away. It was like, well, okay, I can take bits of that resonate with me. But I hold the key. I hold those answers at the end of the day. What do I want? Who do I, you know, what feels right for me? What resonates with me? And that's
But
what
what's part of what I want, there is within, I suppose I'm not on my own here, but if I just do what I want every day, there's just a selfishness there.
No, it's not.
I just
That's
feel
what
that
I learn.
it's just all about me, you know. You're going running, you're coming back, you know, it's all on. It's like, do you know what I mean? It's all, life's just based around me and
But
my
then
problem.
you're living your life for everybody else then, and not for you, which is what I was doing.
Mm.
It's just a block. It's a block.
Yeah.
It's and we all have it.
Yeah.
But we have to look at ourselves first, find ours before we can give it to anyone else.
Yes. That was my biggest teacher, definitely. And you'll do it, Floyd. You will do it. It's just like Jess said, it's gonna feel strange. Anything different, anything new is gonna feel strange, you know. But what's the worst thing that can happen? Do you know what I mean? What's the worst thing that can happen when you go within and ask yourself, well, do you know what? What do I want? Who am I? What you know, what resonates with me? You know, it's all well and good having these teachers, and I'm not dissing anybody, I'm not. But when I first got into Reiki and all those kinds of things, I sent myself stupid, because again, it's somebody else's interpretation. And yet it wasn't happening the same way for me as it was for my teacher. So I drove myself nuts with it. It was like, well, why are my hands? I've got to ask a question, blah, blah, blah. Why are my hands burning while I'm sat on this bus? That told me someone on there needed healing. But I didn't ask for it, and I didn't ask. So what's going on? And somebody said to me, one of the group members that I was with, turned around to me and just said, throw it away. If that's what's happening for you, then that's what's right for you, and you go with that.
Right.
And you can take bits of these people and their advice but that's their interpretation of how they see something. And again, I think that can get dangerous, because as I say, I was with a group, and eventually what happens is there was too many egos got in the way. And for me, in my line of work, it's not about that. It's about getting the job done. and
Mm.
you know, following what feels right for you doesn't make you selfish. It doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make you any of those things. That's somebody else's interpretation. If you know you're coming from a good place and you're working for the higher good, then there's nothing wrong with that, because that's what I've had to learn. I've had to learn to go within and trust that I already know what I need to do and what needs to be done or what feels right, or I can take pieces of that information, but it's not who I am. And you're, you know, we're all different. We're all different. We've all got something to offer, but it's trusting yourself, I think. It's trusting yourself that you already know. So that's what the going within is about. And seeing what resonates with you as a person, as Floyd, not me, not Jessie, not your gurus, not you, your being,
Mm.
your essence, your whatever. And for me, that, I mean, I'm, you know, that's where I had to start. And yeah, you have to keep doing that. Sometimes you do forget, and you have to keep doing that.
Yeah.
Because your energy is completely different from mine or the next, but and it's getting in touch with that. It's getting in touch with Floyd, his little boys, whatever's, and running with that. You know, and you're gonna rub people up the wrong way, whatever. I've lost a few people, whatever, it's what happens. But this is, you've got to understand, on any healing, whether it's a great healing, a little bit of healing, anything, any level where you're healing, it's going to change all the time. You're going to be somebody different. You're going to vibrate with different people each time. You're going to lose people. You're going to find people. It's all part and parcel of the growth and being in touch with yourself. And that's what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything changing.
Always, it's constantly. Once you start working on yourself in any capacity, you're not going to be the same person. You might do the same things, but you're not, on a vibrational level, you're not going to be the same person, because you've outgrown that skin. You're on for the next layer and the next layer and the next layer. I mean, I'm 51 soon, and it's kind of like I'm still you're never not learning, but because there's always something to heal. There's always, once you make that conscious effort to start healing, there'll always be something coming up to be healed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean.
Yeah, always. Because you've chosen to unstick yourself. And once you do that, there's no going back. So it's trying to find that balance, like Jess is sharing, with that kind of, well, okay, you know, how can I do that? As it's going to be uncomfortable as it is, but how can I do that in a way that's effective to me and not, you know, just being you, you know. It's nice for me, who's just come through the other side again, and I'm sure I'll be there again I hope not, but you can never say never. But just being in a place today where I feel like the goosebumps and the optimism and the excitement and it's so nice to feel that again, you know. And that's what you're capable of. That's what we're all capable of. It's all there within us. It's just tapping into it and giving yourself the space to
I
do
wonder
that.
why we are, as like seemingly individuals, I wonder why we all are at different levels and different understandings. It's funny, isn't it, how, you know, some people's lives go really, really well, other people's lives are awful. they never get an opportunity, or where they're born, country they're born in, some people have just fantastic opportunities. Yeah, everybody goes through, rich or poor, everybody has some suffering in their lives. It's not easy. It's not suffering free for anybody. But what baffles me is just how much diversity there is in that. What's causing that? Why, like for animals, like why are some beings born as animals and they don't even get a chance to have a discussion with each other, or lay in a nice comfortable bed at night, be warm in the winter? It's like, what's going on? And I find it pretty scary. It's almost as if, are we in control? Can we control anything? Or will the universe just, in the end, it's just, I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Yourself, by going into yourself and finding your light and who you are and your being and your whoever you are, whoever Floyd is, and being sure who you are, you can then switch that light on in others. That's how I help, and sharing your experiences, by sharing, well, you can talk from experience that, oh, well, I've been through that. So you then, can hook up with the person that you're do you know what I'm saying? It's almost like a ripple effect, but it has to start with you first. It has to start with you first. There's no ifs or buts. There's no easy way around it. It is what it is,
Well, I mean, that's why, it's communicating, isn't it? Talking.
That's half the trick, is knowing who you are, what you want, what you don't. Asking that little boy those questions, finding your voice again, whatever it was that you're learning through your healing. And then you can bring that light to somebody else because you've evolved and you're on to the next part, if you know what I mean. It's kind of like,
but what if that
upgrades.